hello, just a quick note. I forgot to mention there will be timestamps for all of the different updates. So feel free to skip around the video, find the things you're interested in, and yeah, enjoy. It's a long one. Hello. The public update preview for Age of Empires 4 Season 9 has just dropped, and we've got some notes. And I think it's going to be an exciting one. I have had a very quick scroll through. A couple of things caught my eye, but we're going to go through them. I've got them on my little pop out here on Steam, and we'll go into the game and have a look at anything that we need to have a look at. So let's get started, I guess. Release notes. PUP September 2024. Feature Spotlight Multiplayer Pause. It is now possible to pause the game during a multiplayer match. Any player may pause at any time, but each player has a limited number of pauses per match. All players have the option to resume the game after a brief timeout. Okay, cool. Interesting. So, don't know how many pauses we're going to get. Maybe 2, 3. Else it'll just be abused loads, I guess. Yeah, give them 10 pauses, and we'll just pause every few seconds. So that's interesting. We'll see how that one plays out. A couple of new maps have been added. We've got Atacama. Even the strongest warlords will be tested by the harsh and exposed conditions of the Atacama Desert. So it sounds like it could be similar to Dry Arabia, quite open. Maybe even more open than Dry Arabia. Maybe it's like Dry Arabia with Himiyama woodlines, because those suck. They're very small, hard to defend large areas. So we'll see. And Lakeside. A lake rests in the cradle of a mountainous region. High above each side of the lake, different factions prepare for inevitable conflict. So sounds like it's going to be a bit of a push down the middle. We can actually take a look, can't we? So we've got Atacama Desert, which isn't on here alphabetically. It was Atacama, right? Shout if you see it, I guess. Maybe they haven't. So that's Lakeside, but that's Boulder Bay, right? That's the Boulder Bay icon, like thumbnail. I guess we can just jump into it. So Lakeside's one of them. Let's go with Abbasid. All right, technical difficulties. Lakeside, I had it on 8 player, so it looked pretty wild. This is 2 player, so standard 1 versus 1 mode. And let's take a look at that now. Okay, this is more like it. I did have the 8 player map open last time, which looked bizarre. But yeah, really interesting map. Split very symmetrically down the middle. Big cliffs and a pond. There isn't any water on the pond. Any water. There's no water in the pond. There's no fish in the pond, which is very interesting. Don't know what that's about. That's kind of weird. It's just for this trade. So maybe both players set up a little dock down here and get some trade going. And then otherwise you got a bit of stealth forest and loads of resources down this southwest side of the map, I guess. So yeah, super interesting map. Very limited resources within your base, and then you got to move out. I mean, the next gold is these. So I don't know if this is going to be a ranked map pool, but if it is, yeah, really interesting. 2 sacred sites, 5 relics, perfectly split 50-50 down the sort of off-center of the map. Yeah, really cool. All right, so that's Lakeside. There we go. Okay, so Atacama Desert. I've not got it in a desert biome, but this is it. A couple of ponds with nothing in. Giant wood line. Wood forest in the middle. Very, very small wood lines around your TC. So yeah, kind of a weird hybrid between Himiyama and Dry Arabia. Relics, 5 again, 2 sacred sites, trade posts in the middle. So interesting. Obviously you'll be kind of sharing the wood line, but there's so much here. It's going to take a long time before you meet each other. Cool. A couple of deer quite close to TC for both players. And decent gold close by. But no big golds. We got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 9 golds on the map total, so uneven there. But cool, yeah. Obviously, I'm mainly looking at the mini-map for these things. But that is Atacama. Just Atacama. That's the name of the map. All right, on to the rest of the patch notes. Balance and gameplay, the things we're all here for. A couple of bug fixes coming out. Corrected an issue causing English trebuchets to attack slower after shattering projectiles was researched. Corrected an issue where the Japanese Kura storehouse would be selected using the select all outpost hotkey. Byzantine's aqueducts no longer have the convert to palisade gate ability while under construction. Weird. The population indicator no longer changes for a single frame when constructing siege in the field with infantry. How do people even find these bugs? They're so minor. Fixed an exploit for Rus where gold from gold mines could be converted into bounty. Bounty is shown on the villager UI with a different icon. Chinese imperial officials no longer override player commands which are issued on exactly the first frame after the official automatically chooses tax drop-off, which in an idle state and at a maximum tax capacity. Lovely. Gameplay. Projectiles updated. Ooh. Arrow projectiles have been updated to have a smoother, more natural trajectories. Now accounts for the height difference between two units when calculating trajectory arcs. The trajectory should look more natural, i.e. archers on a wall or on a high cliff no longer aiming upwards, even if the target is very close. Keeping outpost trajectories are smoother when targeting units below them. Arrows no longer teleport to find the target on the final frame. This was especially noticeable if the unit died during the arrow fight. Units will no longer fire projectiles at units in their death animation. Okay, we gotta take a look at this. This sounds pretty good. I mean, I honestly, one of the first things I noticed when I first started playing AoE 4 specifically was how odd the arrows looked. So this is actually super interesting and could be really cool. Who knows? Population capacity. Let's make some houses. I want to see a lot of them so I can get more of a feel. Okay, zoom in. See what this looks like, shall we? Oh, beautiful. Look at that beautiful arc. That is very nice to see. Who's my ally? My ally is teal. So let's head over here. And I should have put them on more difficult, I guess. They're not really using their resources. So I got no one to fight. But we can fight this boar. I mean, that looks so much cleaner. Close up doesn't really make much of a difference, but over range, yeah, very nice. And what I wanted to see was what the arrows look like from the buildings, because obviously don't have any castles or keeps or anything yet. But yeah, hopefully garrison some vills and I can get a good look at that. Well, that's flying. It seems like it's higher up. What's the range? Let's go to max range. I feel like they look a lot more natural. Right? This arc, it's very nice. Right? Or am I just, confirmation bias? They've told me that it's different, so I think it's different. I think that looks smooth. I think that looks pretty great. Lovely arc on these. No weird teleporting as they head towards the target either. Very nice. Great job. All right, let's back out of that. Okay, well, that's a pretty big update. Nice. I think that will make quite a big effect in big archer battles and when you're assaulting keeps and stuff just look a bit more natural. New post-game graphs added includes total resources gathered, total food gathered, total wood gathered, gold and stone gathered as well. So rather than it just being in the statistics, I don't have any matches on here because this is PUP server. But yeah, we'll get a nice graph of that, so not bad. Multiplayer pause. Each player will get 5 pauses to use, so that's a lot of pauses. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It's obviously in test phase. And this is the big one, the Siege gameplay. I'm actually going to grab a drink before I start reading all of this. All right. Siege gameplay. Let's go. Developer overview. Our goal with the Siege update is to slow down siege on siege combat by removing the anti-siege role from springalds and culverins and increasing time to kill on many siege interactions. With these adjustments, winning the backline siege battle will now mean you have effective tools for pushing on the field. Additionally, adjustments to siege durability have been made across the board to tune unit to siege interactions. Specifically, ranged units will no longer either one-shot or never kill siege weapons, and instead will deal more consistent damage to all siege. High-level changes directly below, followed by the detailed change list. So this bit where he's talking about ranged units absolutely destroy Reboldaquins. I don't know what else they kill quickly. That's the only one I can think of. But I guess this is just evening them out. So maybe if you have an archer mass now, you can actually attack the mangonels and not lose too many archers, which probably wouldn't be that great because mangonels are kind of the counter to mangonels are the counter to archer mass. So we'll see. We'll read through. Springalds reworked from an anti-siege role to an anti-melee infantry role with special projectiles that pierce their target, which pass through enemy formations for devastating effects. Okay, let's jump in so we can take a look at this. So springalds are now anti-melee with piercing projectiles. Culverins reworked from anti-siege to a unique bombard replacement for several civilizations. Adjusted the armor of all siege engines from ranged armor to ranged damage reduction, referred to as ranged resistance. Okay, let's get one of these. In a jiffy. Let's level up to Imperial. Let's get a couple of siege workshops. Let's make some houses so I can actually get the siege. So, the Springald. Ranged resistance. Incoming ranged damage reduced by 60%. Do they all have 60? Oh, okay, so they are different. So, mangonels, trebuchets. I obviously don't have Reboldaquins on Bassett, but we can go look at that. So, range resistance. Culverin, 85%. So, I'm guessing they take... oh my god, those deer are screaming. Holy crap, let's move away from those. So, the Springald does not require setup to fire. Bonus damage versus melee infantry. Trivial damage versus buildings. Can I attack ground on these? No. Just mangonels. And they all now have range resistance. So it varies. We got mangonels with 75%. Springalds with 60%, which I think is the lowest. Trebuchets have 80. Why are they moving? Okay, they're just going into formation. Culverins with 85 and battering rams with 95. So Springalds the weakest against just ranged infantry and battering rams strongest. Culverins are a new bombard, long-range mobile cannon with bonus versus buildings. And we'll read the rest, I guess. See if there's any other changes. So rams and siege towers. Ooh, siege towers, yes. Let's get some of those. For sure. Siege towers. I should have played Ayubid to get those, get the, what are they called? Sultan's towers, something or other. Anyway, ram and siege towers reduce incoming range damage by 95%. Bombards, cannons, and culverins reduce incoming range damage by 85%. And then it goes down to trebuchets 80%, mangonels, nesta bees 75%, springalds 60%, and reboldaquins 35%. So it looks like reboldaquins will still get kind of shredded by range damage, maybe not as easily as before. But what's interesting is the melee. So the battering ram has increased damage from melee, and none of the other ones do. Has the health changed? 130. Springalds only have 75 health. Rams have 370. I feel like that's definitely changed, right? Let's click over, scroll down. Bombard type adjustments. Bombards, health reduced from 240 to 210. This is not a bombard, obviously. So, wait. Abbasid don't have bombards anymore? What? What is happening? Okay. Let's keep going. Bombard, health reduced from 240 to 210. Ranged armor replaced. Yes, we've gone through that. Base damage reduced from 100 to 50. Gains 50 bonus damage versus infantry. So, are they good against buildings anymore? I don't know. Culverin. The unit has been reworked into a unique bombard replacement for several civilizations that fires faster, has additional range, and deals less damage than standard bombards. The cost has been reduced 400 wood, 600 gold to 325, 450 gold. Health has been reduced by 20 to 200. Ranged armor has been replaced. Base damage has been reduced. It gains 230 bonus damage versus buildings and ships, and bonus damage versus infantry. No bonus damage against siege. It's had an attack speed increase. I can't actually attack a building here, which is, you can't attack your own stuff, can you? I should have put a an enemy in so we can see that. In fact, let me set that up. Okay, so I've booted up a game. The opponent is actually making a keep for us to attack, which is lovely of him. Let's keep reading through these. So, man, what have they done with these animal sounds? They're so loud. The culverin is now good against buildings and has its range reduced, attack speed increased, and it fully replaces bombards for HRE, Order of the Dragon, Abbasid Dynasty, and Ayyubids, and has been fully removed from the Malians. So let's take a look at these culverins. So they should do 230, so 270 health to a building, damage to a building. So I'll wait for them to finish that. Why not? As we read through the rest, cannon, the base damage has been reduced also, but it gains 55 bonus to infantry. So a lot of these cannon siege seems like they're going to be very good against all infantry, which is interesting. I don't know how that, it's obviously single target still. So yeah, great bombard. So that's the Ottomans bombard. The health has been reduced by 50 from 300 to 250. Ranged armor replaced with the range resistance. Base damage reduced from 190 to 70. Plus 55 for early version. I don't know specifically what that means. Maybe we'll have to have a look at the Ottomans. And it gets 150 bonus damage versus infantry. Well, no one's surviving those shots. Jeez. The springalds. The cost has been reduced 250 wood, 250 gold to 150 wood, 100 gold. So very, very cheap now. Health reduced from 125 to 75. Ranged armor has been replaced. Melee armor increased from 0 to 3. Base damage reduced from 30 to 15. And it gains 10 bonus damage against melee infantry, less range, 10 down to 8. Population cost reduced, 3 down to 2. Fires bolts that pierce through multiple units. No longer fires homing projectiles. So let's check this out. He's actually got quite a large army here. Let's roll some more siege out so I don't just get killed, shall we? Let's test the culverins out, see how these do. Set up some mangonels back here. Culverins will do 200 and a bit damage per shot. 270, I think we said. Out of the range of the keep. Looks pretty nice. Definitely not as damaging as a cannon, a bombard. And the springalds are now supposedly an anti-melee with 15... Is that range? No, that's armor piercing. Okay. So those look like they just hit the... Oh, look at this springald fight. They're doing nothing to each other. Culverins will work through the keep nicely. Need to get some units lined up. But he is just backing off. He's built loads of springalds. I guess because I've built the... These are not piercing. Or do they not mean like pierce through? Does it just mean armor penetrating? I kind of figured it meant it fires a projectile that flies through, but they were just hitting and stopping on the first target, right? That wasn't me just being dumb. That's what was happening, right? So yeah, not sure if that's working as intended. 8-tower range. Yeah. That pierce multiple units. They do not look like they're piercing multiple units to me. And it just looks like it was hitting one unit. Like if I fire them at one of these... Come on. Is it damaging them on the way? Ah, okay. So you need to aim behind. And they're actually shredding through a lot of health on these front units. Okay. All right, so that's what it does. Just realized none of my hotkeys are set up or anything. That is... Okay, I mean, that's a lot of damage, right? To all of these units. It's like a mangonel that fires in a straight line, I think. Cool. Okay, let's keep reading, because this... Oh, man. This is going to take a long time, huh? Roller shutter triggers technology. No longer provides additional range to springalds and only provides increased attack speed. So it looks like these will just... If you target these onto the back line, they will just shred through the front line. I think from that very quick initial testing is what they do. Counterweight trebuchets, health reduced. So health reduced across the board for all siege. 170 to 140, ranged resistance, population cost reduced. So we're probably going to see more siege, more numerous siege, but they won't be as aggressive or game changing. Hopefully, I think that's the general idea of this. Traction trebuchet, health from 150 to 125, 80% ranged resistance, and pop cap down from 3 to 2. And the Hui Hui Pow, everything seems to stay the same, but it has obviously range resistance now. The Mangonel. Ranged armor replaced with 75% range resistance. Bonus damage versus ranged increased from 6 to 8. Okay, so these are going to be doing even more damage to ranged units than they were before. Can we get a shot off? It's probably going to be pretty tricky to see just what these are doing, but let's try and aim these on some of the ranged units and see just how much damage they do. So they should be doing 20. They should be doing 20 damage to ranged. And what is their range? Pretty close. I mean, they shredded the range units for sure. Maybe. They didn't take very long to go down. Obviously, they have less health now. What are they? Oh, no. They don't have less health. It's just the resistances. So they get more damage versus buildings. They have one less ranged, down from 9 to 8. Their aim time has been reduced. That did feel a bit snappier. Them actually firing, like acquiring the target and then firing. But they have a longer wind down time. So time between shots, I guess. Each boulder blast radius has been reduced. The projectile spread has also been reduced. So more damage in a tighter area. And it no longer predicts the movement and instead fires directly at the target. So that's probably going to be like one of the main things with this. I was never great at aiming these, but you see some of the pros just magically know exactly which unit to target, and they'll just get this beautiful arc and just do a ton of damage. So this one's going to probably hurt the pros a lot. Well, they'll be able to get out of the way of the projectiles more easily, I guess. Adjustable crossbars technology. Cost has been increased from 300 wood, 700 gold, and 90 seconds to 1,000 wood, 1,200 gold, and 110 seconds. The effect has been changed from plus 25% attack speed to double, so 100% increased splash radius and an extra projectile. And Mongols do not have improved adjustable crossbars. So it sounds like a pretty big upgrade. I think I will have accidentally already researched it. I have. So those mangonels that we fired earlier will have that update, that technology on them. So I'm guessing that's in the Imperial Age. You're not going to get a Castle Age upgrade that costs this much. So yeah. So mangonels don't get improved until Imperial Age. Maybe they feel quite weak in Feudal and Castle Age. Possible. Not Feudal Age. Castle Age. Nesta Bees, 75% range resistance. Range reduced from 8 to 7. And a developed note, damage has been naturally reduced because chemistry no longer grants additional base damage. Okay. So chemistry is the university upgrade, which increases gunpowder damage. This does say increases damage of gunpowder siege weapons, but not sure why that isn't affecting the Nesta Bees. Additional barrels cost increase from 200 wood, 500 gold to 400 wood, 800 gold. And the effect is two additional rockets. So that'll be in Chinese. Can I look at the... I can. Chinese. Is that in here? Or is it in their siege workshop? There we go. Yeah, additional barrels. Nesta Bees, 2 additional rocket arrows. So maybe that's why chemistry now isn't affecting Nesta Bees. Maybe. Reboldequin, health reduced from 350 to 225. Ranged armor replaced with 35% range resistance. Melee armor increased from 10 to 15. So these are basically like an anti-melee siege weapon that are countered by range. They do absolutely shred anything melee. So yeah, I think it's like French and Jeanne d'Arc that get these. Who else gets Reboldequins? I'm actually not sure. I think definitely not Biz. No. Yeah, French and Jeanne d'Arc. There's probably some other ones. Let me know in the comments. Whichever one I'm missing. I'm not going to go through every single Civ and find out right now. Ram and Siege Tower have been replaced, ranged armor been replaced with range resistance. So that's the Siege. So some interesting stuff. No anti-siege anymore. You basically just kill them with your units, which I think is good. It should mean that even if you have no siege and your opponent has some siege, if you have the unit advantage, maybe you can still come out on top and you don't have to build siege to counter it. Obviously, it's going to take quite a few games, probably a couple of months to really figure out what's good. Not a couple of months, a couple of weeks for the pros. And then they can tell us exactly what is good and what's to use. I mean, these springalds seemed pretty cool. I wonder if I just A-move them, how much damage they can do. I did attack the back line where I could, and it did shred through the front line quite a lot. So let's check this out. He is just being so defensive in his base. So if I attack this horseman, or if I just A-move, yeah, I mean, these are... They're doing a lot of area damage. That is so loud. Why is it so loud? Like, it's way louder than my normal game is, for some reason. Turn that down a bit. Jesus. Okay, cool. So springalds seem interesting. But yeah, gonna have to wait for the pros to really delve into what this is going to change. Obviously, mangonels are still very much ranged unit counter. It looks like springalds are kind of melee unit counter, but you want to target them on the range so they actually shoot through the melee and get that pierce damage. Interesting. It seems like they're still going to be pretty key units, but we'll have to see. University update. Our goal with the University update is to spice up the late game by creating a more meaningful set of decisions at the university by altering the cost, effect, or both. Now these upgrades should be both more situational and more powerful when those situations arise. All right, so let's back out and let's have a look at the tech tree as we read through these. There is definitely some new things because these did not exist before. So we'll get to those in a little bit. Okay, incendiary arrows. Cost increased from 300 wood 700 gold to 500 wood 1000 gold. Added an additional effect. Non-gunpowder ranged units gain plus 20% damage and deal additional siege damage to buildings. Archer type units deal 3 siege damage when firing on buildings, with exceptions. Mounted archer unit types deal 3 siege damage. Crossbowmen deal 4 siege damage. Notable exceptions, tower elephants and desert raiders do not use siege arrows against buildings as they use tusk and torch attacks, respectively. Chuganu, cavalry archers, and Mangadai deal 2 damage instead of the general bolt/arrow amount. Gilded archers deal 6 siege damage, and gilded crossbowmen deal 8 siege damage. Wow. Okay, so we've got better looking arrows from the start of the patch. Got that beautiful arc to them now, no teleporting arrows. And you can now destroy buildings with arrows in the super late game. So maybe armies of 100 archers are going to be meta. I hope so, because that'd be hilarious. Also, Mangonel can be attacked by ranged units now. So this is all feeling like a bit of a buff for the old longbowman, isn't it? Maybe. See a resurgence of longbow spam and say goodbye to the king. We'll see. So this is cool. They're basically making the university upgrades more expensive but more impactful, which I think is a good thing to do. Often when it got to super late game and you do have your university, you just buy whichever one is relevant and kind of forget about it. It didn't really change too much it was either more health, more damage. I think that's pretty much it, right? None of them had anything particularly unique. So I like this, adding in a bit more of a reason and uniqueness to the university techs. Let's move on to biology. So biology, once again, cost increased from 300 food, 700 gold, to 500 food, 1,000 gold. Cavalry, even more health, 20% to 30%. That's pretty big. Another 10% health at super late game. Mongols, biology has been improved. Biology improved tech. Costs 1,500 stone now. Grants 40% health to all cavalry. 10% if biology has already been researched. Okay, so Mongols go absolutely crazy with cavalry in Imperial Age. 40% extra health on their cavalry with their improved biology tech. Damn. French royal bloodlines cost stays at 300 food, 700 gold. Cavalry health increased by another 5%. So, what was that? French royal bloodlines. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Fill the stables with the best stallions, increasing all cavalry health by 40%. So they had 35% anyway. So they are getting an extra 5% on their royal knights. So huge for late game cavalry, even tankier, even stronger cavalry for all civs. I think all civs have access to biology, right? So cool. Chemistry cost reduced from 300 food, 700 gold in 90 seconds to 200 food, 650 gold and 1 minute research time. The effect has been changed from 20% increased base damage on gunpowder units to gunpowder siege engines gain 25% bonus damage. Okay. Developer note, gunpowder siege primarily deals damage to specific targets. With bonus damage, this change makes gunpowder siege weapons significantly better against specific targets, namely buildings. Okay, so gunpowder no longer increases, like hand cannoneer damage and any units like that, janissaries, etc. It's mainly aimed at, only aimed at gunpowder siege weapons. So bombards, cannons, culverins, Nesta bees, I guess, although it did say up here somewhere that maybe it doesn't. How is Nesta bees not a gunpowder siege? What, because they're fireworks? I guess that's gunpowder, right? Yeah, this doesn't make too much sense to me. Elite army tactics. Again, cost increased from 300 food, 700 gold to 400 food, 1,200 gold. Effect change from melee infantry, 20% health, 20% damage, to a flat 4 melee armor and 20 base damage. So a nerf, I guess, especially against ranged, because they now just don't have the bonus health, but a buff against melee. Mongols improved elite army tactics, cost adjusted to 1,600 stone, which gives them plus 30% base damage and 6 armor. So even better. And Japanese Oda tactics changed from melee infantry plus 20% health plus 20% base damage and 20% torch damage to 20% base damage, 4 melee armor and 20% torch damage. So a removal of the health increase. 20% health on infantry is big. So this means infantry are going to have quite a lot less health in the late game, but more melee armor, whereas cavalry just have more health now by quite a lot. It seems like it could change a lot. I mean, in the ultra late game, you mainly see cavalry, right? Usually. Or at least I do. You don't get many. I mean, men at arms you do, but this is going to nerf them, right? Especially against ranged. Any men at arms unit. Am I being dense? They don't have extra health, so yeah. Siege works. Effect change from siege engines plus 20% health and 10 armor, ranged armor, to just 20% extra health. And the Mongols improved one gets 30% extra health. A new technology. Serpentine power. Okay, so this is where the hand cannons are getting their extra damage from. So I guess they've just split the damage from chemistry across. So you can kind of choose which one you want. Serpentine power, 300 food, 500 gold, 1 minute research time. Available in Imperial Age. Hand cannoneers gain +8 bonus damage versus melee infantry. And a brief boost of movement speed upon firing their weapon. Delhi Sultanate takes 720 seconds. Mongols do not get improved serpentine powder upgrade. Zhu XI and Ottomans don't get serpentine powder at all. So this is 8 bonus damage versus melee infantry. So, and they now have less health in Imperial Age. So they're going to get absolutely shredded, destroyed by hand cannons, which I guess it's just making the little like counter triangle stronger. And another new tech, silk bowstrings, 400 wood, 400 gold, 1 minute train time, tech time. And the effect, archers gain +2 ranged, mounted archers gain +1 range. Delhi Sultanate research time 720 seconds. Tower elephants do not benefit. Mongols do not get improved. Zhu XI does not get access to silk bowstrings. So it's going to be a beautiful 100 deep archer mass with +2 range and siege damage from incendiary arrows. It's going to be beautiful. You know that scene in Gladiator at the start where they fire all those flame arrows? That's it. That's Age of Empires 4 now. It's just that one scene in Gladiator. And I'm here for it. Sounds great. Excellent. How long have I been going? I've been going nearly an hour, and I've got through. I've got through some of them. Some of the upgrades, some of the changes. All right, general changes: horticulture, fertilization, and precision crossbreeding upgrades. The effect has been reduced from 15% to 10%. So that's pretty big. That's these ones, right? Horticulture, fertilization, and I don't think I ever have they made them cheaper though. That never used to be only 5. It wasn't that 700 gold. Maybe. Let's carry on reading. The Mongol improved food upgrades benefit from 5% extra. Boar food increased by 200 extra. Cool. Extended lines reduced. That's the fishing gather rate in the dock here. Increases gathering rate of fishing ships by 15% and carry capacity by 10. So that's down from 20%. Drift nets, again, down from 15 to 10%. Berry gather rate increased. Hallelujah. It's the Abbasid dynasty's time to shine. Up by 0.03. So, yeah. Delhi Sultanate, Ayyubid and Abbasid dynasty berry bonus reduced down to 30% from 35%. That was a very short-lived celebration there, wasn't it? I probably shouldn't celebrate too early. Okay, so this is a lot of food gather rate reduction by considerable amounts, right? Each one of these is reduced by 5%. So you would have had 30% in Castle Age increase, whereas now you only get 20%. 30% is your Imperial Age one, and you would have had 45%. So that's huge, actually. That's some big percentages there on the food gathering. Maybe it won't matter. Maybe most people were floating multiple thousands of food by the time it actually gets to this kind of stage in the game. We'll have to see how that plays out. All tier 2 and 3 economic upgrades get new icons. I did wonder, this fertilization one here was new. So these are all new. All these tier 2 and 3. Lovely. Look at these logs. Lovely looking logs. Shaft mining. Nice. And cupellation. That's been renamed, right? That wasn't called that. Shaft mining. So these are remaining at 15%. So these stay the same. And it's just the food ones that have been reduced. Where were we? Acid distillation has been renamed to shaft mining. There we go. Melee unit torch damage increased from 16 to 17 in Castle Age and 20 to 22 in Imperial Age. So a lot more siege damage from general units. So it seems like you might get away with just building no siege if you wanted to. Maybe they're trying to make it kind of even. You could have one player who has half his army as siege, half as units, and one has a full army of units, and they behave and perform about the same. Maybe that's kind of where they're trying to get to, and it just comes down to your personal preference if you want to build siege or not. Because increased torch damage from your melee units. The archers now do siege damage. So cool stuff. Palisade wall build time increased from 4 to 8 seconds. Ooh, that's pretty spicy. That's going to get rid of like quick walling and stuff, right? Not that I do it. I'm not good enough to quick wall. Sometimes I get like a snappy wall, a rushed wall, but it's never quick. Let's have a look at this. So if they make a wall here, so these used to take 4 seconds to go up. Oh, they'd be done by now. Yeah, that's slow. That is really slow. Look at this. Oh, painful. Chop, chop. That's probably going to have quite a big effect, especially in the early game. This is a terrible map to show this because there's no wood lines, but when you want to make just a short wall just to like block off a small area. I mean, how long would this take? Like 12 seconds? Now it's going to take... Let's start this at 1 minute and we'll see how long it takes 2 vills to make this. Very short wall. Let's go. Sit here and wait and watch them work. Nearly done. 2 more wall segments to go. And we're at 1 minute 19 seconds to make this tiny little wall. That feels like it's going to be quite a big change. When you want to wall in a relic, you might want it to do this. That's terrible. You know what I mean. Oh my god, so weird. This is now going to take a substantial amount of time. Double the amount of time that it used to take. So, yeah, that's like 40 seconds to make this. Which is quite a time commitment and you'd probably only send 1 vill to do this because one's being killed by a wolf. So you've actually only got 1 vill available. Yeah. This is so slow. Very slow. And I'm sure the pros and things will have more to say on that. But I feel my immediate reaction is that's a pretty big change, a big nerf. Where else were we? Where were we? Outpost health increased from 750 to 800. Roos Wooden Fortress unchanged at 1750 health. Horseman attack bonus versus siege now scales with base damage. Instead of 10 at all ranks, it goes from plus 10 at all tiers to plus 8, 9, 11, 13 in depending on their veterancy, their level of unit. So early, feudal, veteran, and elite. So that's plus 23 damage against siege from horsemen. So I think for sure you can make an army that's just horsemen and archers. It's going to be perfectly fine. You'll be just fine in Imperial Age. 45 minutes. Trust me, you just need a few horses and 100 archers, and you'll win all of your games. Order of the Dragon Gilded Horsemen adjusted to plus 15, 18, and 20. So even more siege damage there. And Sipahi and Ghazi Raiders also get plus 9, 11, and 13. Cool. Civ changes. Man, we're still going. We're still going. Chinese. Additional barrels cost increased. So that's the extra rocket. We went over that earlier. 200 wood, 500 gold to 400 wood, 800 gold. And the Grenadier attack has been made more responsive. Grenadier aim time reduced from 0.5 to 0. And their reload time has been increased. So similar to the mangonels, they will find a target and fire quicker, but they'll take longer between shots. We'll see how that kind of works out. Yeah. Delhi Sultanate. New naval technology. Salvage materials. Bagla heals 30 health when sinking an enemy ship. Available in Castle Age. Okay. Maybe Delhi were struggling a little on water. I know they had quite a few changes recently with the docks acting as a mosque or granting you a scholar. Scholar? Are they scholars from Delhi? I should probably know that. Scholar. Yeah, I did know it. Great. French docks now provide 10 population space. Okay, interesting. HRA, Minework Palace. Riveted chain has been replaced with owl pikes, all pikes, which grant plus 3 damage to spearmen and horsemen. Holy. Minework Palace. Where's this? I don't know if that's like all or owl. All pikes. This is in feudal. Feudal. Damn. Plus 3 damage to horsemen in feudal. That's a lot. HRE Horseman Rush is here. Hide your villagers, because they're gonna get piked. That's huge. That's big, right? 3 damage. It's massive. That's triple. What? Like I know these are the lesser used techs, the melee ones, because like percentage wise they don't have as big of an effect as the range ones. But plus 3 is big, especially in feudal. All right. What else? Garrisoned relic effect reduced from 50% to 25% armor. And okay, right. So if you garrison a relic in an outpost or a keep, it gains 25% armor and 25% damage instead of 50 and 35 respectively. Reinforced defenses reduced from 40% health to 25% health. Emplacement discount reduced from 25% to 20%, so more expensive emplacements. Town center ranged armor reduced. Okay, is that just for HRE? Did their TC have extra armor than other ones? Maybe. Reduced from 75 to 50. Archon Chapel range reduced. Ooh. That is big. From 7.5 to 6.5. So that might mean you miss out on a whole extra row of farms around the Archon, or it just makes it more difficult to place it early game and get like gold, wood, and food all in the Archon from like 4 minutes. So this could be a pretty big nerf to HRE, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be horsemen all day, every day. Japanese. Each tier of the daimyo mana's farm gather rate aura has been reduced from 25% to 20%. This is to keep Japanese food scaling in line with other civs. As we saw earlier, a lot of the food scaling technologies have been reduced. Jeanne d'Arc docks... so they get the bonus to docks population space as well. Jeanne d'Arc's companion riders moved to the stable. Companion champion moved to the barracks. Oh, okay. So those were the ones that she like plopped out, right? There's Jean's champions. Is that what it is? And now you can make them. I think you can make them in a keep. Was that right? Is that right? You could. I think you could create them from a keep. Now you can just create them from the stables. Yes. Cool. So we'll probably see those more. And I think these are pretty strong. I don't know. So they don't go up to Imperial Age, though. Where's the barracks? They kind of stop in. They're very expensive for Castle Age. But, yeah, they can't be upgraded past that. Interesting. So maybe... like a timing push in Castle, or even in Feudal, actually, because you can get Jean's champions. You can get them both in Feudal. Could you get them in Feudal before? No, you can't have, because they were from the keeps. Unless I'm making all of this up. But I think that's right. So some different units for Jeanne d'Arc to use earlier on in the game. Jeanne d'Arc gains half experience from constructing before the capital town center is constructed on Nomad. So big old nerf to JD in Nomad games. All right, Malians, bit of text. There was no Abbasid changes. Sad. Malians, Farimba Garrison. Aging up with the Farimba now gives you the choice to enlist one of 3 units. Let's take a look at these units. Malian? Farimba. So what do we got? We got Mansa Musafadi, Mansa Javelineer, and Mansa Freeborn. The Mansa Musafadi, a tougher version of the regular Musafadi, boasting higher melee and health. Wait, so what does it say? Aging up now gives you the choice to enlist one of 3 free units. One of 3 new units. So you don't train them. So you just get like one. You just get one unit. A tougher version of regular Musafadi boasting higher melee. Mansa Javelineer, a faster moving javelin thrower that deals poison damage. Mansa Freeborn, a high pierce armor melee unit. But the Musafadi have anti-armor anyway. The warriors. The Mansa Musafadi and Mansa Javelineer replace their counterparts at respective buildings, whilst the Mansa Freeborn is a new unit that's trainable from the barracks. Okay, so you get the Farimba Garrison, and then you can train these instead of the original one. So you get a better version. Do they have anything different? Text is all the same. Cost is the same. But yeah, cool. Okay, so you can choose one of your units to be even stronger. I like the idea of poison javelin throwers. That sounds pretty gnarly. Very cool. Let's have a look at those. Yeah, so you either get the Mansa Javelineers. How are they in Feudal? How do you have that in Feudal when Mansa is... Oh. I'm an idiot. Wait, no. The Farimba is a Castle Age one. So why is it giving Feudal Age units here? Players can choose another one of the remaining 2 options if they reach the Imperial Age. Cool. Saharan Trade Network acts as a toll outpost that comes with defensive javelin emplacements. In addition to previous effects, the Saharan Trade Network now grants all other toll outposts the defensive javelin emplacement, replacing the standard arrow slits emplacement. Javelin emplacements have 8 range, 11 base damage, and 1.38 attack speed, with +2 damage versus range units. That's cool. That's very cool. I wonder if the javelins are also affected by the arrow upgrade. Probably. Okay. Order of the Dragon. Garrison relic effects. So these are just pulled from HRE, reduced defenses, reduced discount, ranged armor reduced, Archon Chapel range reduced, and all gilded unit Castle Age torch damage increased from 24 to 25 and 28 to 30 in Imperial Age. Ottomans, Janissary guns effect increased from +3 to +5. When Janissary is just crazy anyway. Janissary. So I'm guessing that's the bonus damage. The guns effect must be the extra damage versus cavalry, so they're now even better against cavalry. Imperial Council fast training has been removed, and its 25% production speed effect has been added to the Advanced Academy. What the hell is the Advanced Academy? Is that one of the... so it's one of the Imperial Council upgrades. Increases military school production speed by 25% and outfits military schools with the ability to train lancers and janissaries. Cool. 4 new Imperial Council upgrades are available. I'm going to have another drink. Extensive Fortifications, Tier 2. That is here. It reduces the cost of defensive buildings by 1%. By 1%? I don't think that reads right. On the Steam updates, it says all garrison arrows are replaced with crossbow bolts, which deal +2 bonus damage versus heavy units. Wow, nice. That's pretty big. Timorites enables cavalry archers to be trained from the archery range of military schools. What? Cavalry archers? Did Ottomans have cavalry archers? I don't think so. Damn. Damn. Some new stuff for Ottomans. Pax Ottomana. Villager production speed increased by 50% for 4 minutes. So that's a tier 3 one. So that's quite a ways down. I'm guessing you're not getting that in early feudal age. Where is that? That's here. So that's like Imperial Age. Interesting. Very interesting. Great Bombard. A Great Bombard arrives at the capital town center. Early version used before Imperial Age automatically upgrades upon reaching the Imperial Age. So this is earlier on, like what, 3 days ago when we were talking about the Bombards. They had an early version. So that must be where this is coming in. Because Ottomans could not build Bombards before Imperial Age. Now, it sounds like they might be able to. Where is their siege workshop? Here we go. So that's still Imperial Age to build them. Perhaps the Imperial Academy? Nope, still no early version. Who knows? Trade bags and siege crews has been moved from tier 2 to 4. That is, we go back up here, trade bags. Increase the amount of gold traders collect and income from the Sultanani trade network by 40%. And siege crews, which is allows all siege engines to be garrisoned by infantry, while garrisoned attack and setup speed increased by 25%. We could see some wild siege play from Ottomans. Could be very interesting. Knight production speed reduced by 28%, and Janissary production speed reduced by 25%. Woo! This ensures that Knights and Janissaries produce for the same resources per minute as the other military school units. Janissary receives the ranged unit tag, receives a new light range gunpowder infantry tag. So this means they now take bonus damage from cavalry, horsemen specifically. Maybe some others as well. Did they really not have that before? They weren't ranged. Normal hand cannoneers no longer classified as light. No bonus damage from archers against hand cannoneers because they're not light infantry anymore. And archers gain bonus against light gunpowder infantry. What? So hand cannoneers are no longer classed as light, but archers gain bonus against light gunpowder infantry. So, as a result of these changes, Janissaries will only receive bonus damage from archers rather than all ranged attacks, and will be less extreme in its relationship versus cavalry units. Alrighty, okay. Rus. Fortified palisade wall build time increased from 3 to 8. Oof. Oh, Rus, you hate to see it. That is a big increase. Banded arms technology range effect for springalds increased from 0.5 to 1. Let's take a look at what banded arms was, and that just increases the range of springalds by another half a tile. And finally, the Zhu XI, a new technology, Dali horses. These are horses that are half melted. It's a terrible, terrible joke. All cavalry gain 20% attack speed, 75 food, 175 gold, 45 seconds available in feudal age. All cavalry gain 20% attack speed. What, surely it's just horsemen, right? In feudal. So a buff to horsemen, Zhu XI horsemen specifically. Imperial Guard reload time adjusted 1.5 to 1.75 seconds. Yuan Raider reload time adjusted from 1.5 to 1.62 seconds. A new technology, hard cased bombs. Grenadiers deal +2 bonus versus light infantry. 100 food, 150 gold, 45 seconds available in Castle Age. Early Grenadier available in Castle Age. And they also have the more responsive attacks from the Grenadiers. Ooh, early Grenadier in Castle Age. Area damage, explosive damage. They also have this buff. Units receive +15% ranged and melee damage for 5 seconds when hit by a grenade. So a little support unit there for Zhu XI in the Castle Age. And that is the end of the PUP update notes. There is a lot in there. This is going to be a very long video. If for any reason you stuck through the whole thing, thank you very much. These are all subject to change. Maybe I'll release a little update video. I think these update previews are live for like a week, so there'll probably be some changes in a week's time, unless everyone's perfectly happy with all of the changes, which is pretty unlikely, I guess. And thanks for watching. There will be timestamps, everything below. Maybe I should have added that at the start. Great. Thank you. Cheers. See you in the next one. There is so much to unpack here. But that was a quick overview of everything that is potentially coming in Season 9. Thanks again. Subscribe for more. I've got some other videos on the channel that you can watch. And I'll see you there. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.